I'm making a short video to discuss a small problem I'm having with my STEN Mark V short barrel rifle rebuild project. I'm currently awaiting my ATF Form 1 and approval for my short barrel conversion so that I can actually purchase the barrel and install it with the project. I've also purchased a STEN Mark V parts kit, and I'll use a few of the components of that parts kit. It came with a nearly complete weapon which had the original receiver tube torch cut, the barrel cut, and several other components missing. I've also purchased many newly made American components and will be installing that with my STEN Mark V so that I'm 922R compliant. That's an ATF requirement. You need to research that before you start your project. So I have new receiver tube, internal components such as the breech block, charging handle, operating rods, springs, retaining cups, pins, extractors, firing pin, and some of the internal components like the tripping lever and the sear, all made from new American components, as will be the barrel. The problem that I'm having is with three components that are linked together: the trigger, the sear, and the tripping lever. Under normal operations, this ATF approved semi-automatic STEN fires from a closed bolt position. When the trigger is pulled to the rear, you'll notice there's a forward movement of the tripping lever here. That forward moving of the tripping lever causes the sear also to move forward. When this portion of the sear moves forward, it's an L-shaped sear, it raises this part of the sear here, which has a pawl on it. That pawl and notch engage a hammer, and when that is moved out of the receiver tube, the hammer is free to be propelled forward under spring tension on its operating rod into the breech block, striking the firing pin, causing the primer and the powder in the cartridge to ignite. The force of that ignition and the gases expanding in the barrel will propel the bolt to the rear. Under normal operations, the rearward movement of the bolt is supposed to raise the tripping lever and allow the sear to return into battery. That would occur in a manner like this. And when that sear is allowed to rotate back to the rear, it allows this pawl and notch to be prepared to re-engage the hammer when the spring tension moves the bolt back to the forward position. You'll see that pawl on the sear slid down and it would catch the hammer. But in this particular case, it's not doing that. So the trigger's being pulled, bolt's going rear. You'll notice that my tripping lever is not moving. I have to do that manually. So I have an issue where I need to do something to modify the tripping lever so that it will be engaged by the breech block, raised out, and allow my sear to return back into battery to catch the hammer.